Did they just accidentally leak the Breath of the Wild 2 title? It's smashing, darling, truly smashing. That's right, we're talking the final Smash Challenger. Not only that, we've got new games coming to the Switch OLED. I have a special guest, and our hopes for 4K Switch may not be dead. Final Challenger is approaching. I think I've talked about this before, that I am like not emotionally ready for Smash Ultimate to be like completed. I'm gonna walk you through which theories I think are actually viable and which I think are just a little bit crap. First up, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about that they think the Final Challenger is going to be from Monster Hunter. That's not happening. I can tell you, I'm like 99.9% sure that is not happening. Here's why. Monster Hunter, yes, is very popular. It fits all the qualifications in that side, but Monster Hunter is already very heavily involved in this version of Smash. They've got spirits, Mii costumes, trophies, and an NPC. Like, there is no way Sakurai is gonna double dip. If there's one thing I know about Sakurai, it is that if he's giving you like a little shining moment for your game in Smash, like that's pretty much it. Count your lucky stars, like you are done. Like there is not like a assist trophy and also a character like in the same game pretty much ever, which I'm going to delve into a little bit later too. Basically, if you are a Monster Hunter fan, I wouldn't hold your breath. I do not think the Final Challenger is going to be from Monster Hunter. Another one that's just been going around that I think we just need to discuss is Among Us. People are like, oh, the Final Challenger is going to be from Among Us. Again, I hate to crush your dreams, but there is no way. And here's why. Even though Among Us has been around for a while, it hasn't really been popular until very recently. And these Final Smash Challengers would have been picked all the way in 2018. So that just doesn't read to me, again, as a likely scenario, which I'm sorry if you are an Among Us fan. You know, we've all been there. We've all had characters that we really wanted in Smash and just didn't make it. But it's definitely not going to be your day when the Final Challenger is announced. I'm here to crush your dreams of what I don't think is going to be in Smash. Here's where a lot of people have been arguing back and forth for a while now, whether or not the main character from Doom is going to make it in Smash. The biggest argument against it is that the character is too violent. Like, this is a very violent game, and Smash is considered to be rated like T for teen, so like any violence that's in the game has to be kind of cartoony. But I think good news for us is that Joker, who was just very recently announced for Smash, actually has a gun. So there is a character with a gun in Smash currently, which could be really good news for us. We also saw this as well with Solid Snake being in the game, which is again a character that's known for being very violent. They were able to kind of hide his violence between kind of like cartoony explosions with like C4 and all of that stuff, which again I think could be a very good possibility for Doom, and I think a lot of people would be very excited about this. It definitely feels like it would be the final piece in the puzzle that would leave a lot of people feeling very happy about the Smash Ultimate lineup. We're back to some bad news about the final Smash contender, and that is I don't think we're getting Waluigi, which personally breaks my heart. I am always like rooting for the meme characters to make it. Like, I was team Ridley, and when Ridley got announced, I was so happy, and I think Waluigi would be so funny. But again, Waluigi is already an assist trophy in Smash, and we have never seen an assist trophy and a character be in the same game. I mean, it could happen, but it's never happened before, and I feel like because it's never happened before in any other Smash game, that Sakurai must have very strong thoughts on that. It could just be like, if you're playing as Waluigi, you also get an assist trophy as another Waluigi, but it could just get very confusing. They could maybe program it to recognize that you're Waluigi and not put that trophy in the game, but it's too convoluted, unfortunately. I just don't think it's gonna happen. And last but not least, the piece de resistance, what I am, fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed, hoping to be the final contender in Smash, and I think pretty dang likely, is Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright has something that Doom doesn't, and that is popularity in Japan. Would work perfectly with mechanics in the game. Like, I think this is signed, sealed, delivered, like ready to go into Smash, and hopefully I'm not wrong. Now, you might be saying to me, Nicole, what would Phoenix Wright's fighting style be? Well, obviously he's got that giant objection point. Like there's no way they're not going to include that in the game. You also have inventory, you know, you can like throw things at people. I think there's going to be a lot of really fun dynamics. And also I just think it would be really funny to see Phoenix Wright run. I feel like this character is just like really blocky. I just feel like it's going to be a good time. And again, that fan favorite, it's going to give us that feel-good feeling and has that popularity in Japan that is going to make it actually likely. Like a character does not make it to Smash unless they're also popular in Japan. Like it just doesn't really happen. Up until Smash Bros. Ultimate, there was not a single character in Smash that had not been developed in Japan. So again, popularity in Japan is a gigantic factor when it comes to who's going to be in Smash. I was going down the internet rabbit hole and I found this super cute toy Pokedex that had been remade into a DS. Look at it! Look at it! It's amazing! I really want one. I love the look of Pokedex and I don't understand why Nintendo has not done more with them. Like, I would absolutely love to have a special edition Switch OLED that's made to look like a Pokedex. That would be so cool, and I bet a ton of people would buy that. I also think there's a possibility for even like a smartwatch. I mean, obviously we don't have the technology where a smartwatch you can just like scan an animal and be like, tell me what animal this is, Pokedex. But it would still be really, really fun. And again, they could even tie it into Pokemon Go. I mean, hello, Nintendo. I'm just giving away these money ideas for free. This is huge news. The Breath of the Wild 2 full name has finally leaked, and I am so excited because I am so tired of calling it Breath of the Wild 2. I feel like it doesn't encapsulate the depth of my excitement. It's like, oh, I'm so excited to watch Lion King 2. This doesn't sound as good. Lion King 2 is a very good movie though also. Yes, we finally have a friggin' title and I'm so excited. The rumored title is, drumroll, Demise of the Wild. Making reference to Breath of the Wild and also the destruction caused by Demise. This is very interesting on so many levels, especially because of how well it ties into Skyward Sword. I've been saying it from the beginning. Nintendo threw so much effort behind the re-release of Skyward Sword that it was suspicious. It was like, Nintendo, you barely gave any attention to all of the other remakes and you were making memes daily on your account about this. You want people to care and you want people to buy it. Why? And it's because it majorly ties into Breath of the Wild too. Demise is one of the main antagonists in Skyward Sword. Again, all fitting together. All the pieces are fitting together. Demise of the Wild is rumored to follow the journey of Ganondorf the Man and his fall into evil, with Link trying to end the cycle caused by Demise. This is very interesting to me too, because we've already seen kind of a time element that is coming to this version of Breath of the Wild. So again, this kind of time travel, it all just really ties in incredibly well. It also ties in again with this version of maybe Ganon Link that we've seen in the trailer. It's all really making sense, which makes me feel like there is a lot of validity to this. I don't know, fingers crossed. I'm saying it, I'm believing it, I'm in. I am drinking the Kool-Aid. I am all in on this series. The creator of the Zelda games has also been quoted saying that he wants to tie all three of his major games together, which again has my ears tingling because Skyward Sword, which is one of the main Zelda games, the origin story of the Zelda universe, if you will, was just brought to the Switch. We got Breath of the Wild and now Breath of the Wild 2, all tied in together for a storyline. It's making sense. Get out the clown makeup because I am ready. I am fully ready to believe this theory and be disappointed. An insider has also said that there is an upcoming Nintendo Direct coming in September, but we shouldn't be on the lookout for any new Zelda news, which is a huge bummer. But we'll see. Maybe fingers crossed they're wrong on that one. For now, we'll just hold our theories of Demise of the Wild close to us, tuck them into bed before they get bashed by Nintendo eventually. Or turn out to be true. Nintendo is finally starting to fight back against emulators. I don't understand why Nintendo cares when Nintendo fans do something in competitions, their lawyers are there immediately. But when there's all these emulators all over the internet, they don't care at all. But Nintendo is finally doing something about it by actually making Game Boy and Game Boy Color games available for the Switch and the Switch OLED. That's right, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games are coming to not only the Switch, Switch OLED, but also the Switch Lite. Yay! It's a happy Game Boy family! While this is currently, air quotes, just a rumor, this dates all the way back to 2019 when we first started hearing whispers about this. A data mine in 2019 revealed emulators inside of Nintendo's NES app, which, again, suspicious. What's going on, Nintendo? This is a magnifying glass if you didn't know. Multiple publications, including Nintendolife, have confirmed with their sources that we have Game Boy and Game Boy Color games coming to the Switch very soon, which I love to hear. I'm so excited. Game Boy Color was like my first ever Nintendo device, so I'm just really excited to have that nostalgia and play those games again. The only bummer with this is that they're going to be coming through Nintendo Online, so if you do not currently have a Nintendo Online account, you're going to want to get one if you want to play these games. There's no news yet about Game Boy Advance titles, but fingers crossed if this does well, those will be coming soon too. It must be spooky season because our dreams of having a 4K Switch are back from the dead. That's right, a Tokyo-based analyst revealed that it is actually a possibility that we could be getting a 4K Switch in 2022, which personally makes a lot of sense for me. I've been saying this since the beginning. This seemed like a very micro upgrade and something they were trying to push out to kind of invigorate the Switch, but didn't really make that many changes. I have also been saying from the beginning that I didn't think we were going to get something incredibly different until Breath of the Wild 2 came out. Breath of the Wild 2 is such a huge game, it would be a waste not to also make it a title release. Like, it was weird to me that they were doing Metroid Dread with the Switch OLED. I mean, I get Metroid Dread is anticipated, but nowhere near highly anticipated as Breath of the Wild 2. Here's where things get a little techie and a little bit of a bummer for us, is that if we're going to hold on to this handheld device aspect of the Switch, it would be really difficult to have 4K. Which is a bummer because 4K would only be possible on a handheld device with lower frame rate. Now, it's gonna get really techie from here, and I'm not the best at techie stuff, but thankfully for me, my friend Jimmy is. Hey!
I was here the whole time. You guys didn't even know.
That's right. If you look back in all of our old videos, Jimmy is actually there, hiding in all of them. See if you can find all the hidden Jimmys.
So I took a look at this article you sent over and I was immediately like, yeah, if they're going to make a Switch 2, they need to figure out some way to have it at least output 4K to the TV when it's in the dock, because a lot of people have 4K TVs now and having a 1080p output from the dock looks a little fuzzy in 2021. So when the Switch came out, I was fine playing games on it that were available on other consoles because, you know, you had the whole handheld element. But like, as time has gone on, I have more trouble justifying buying games on Switch when they're available on other machines because they're usually cheaper on other machines and they run a lot better. So if the Nintendo Switch 2, which I really hope is happening because I wanted the OLED to be the Switch 2. I was really like super excited with all those rumors that were coming out. I was like, yep, they're gonna nail it. It's gonna have a 1080p screen. It's gonna have 4K output. It's gonna use DLSS. It's gonna be awesome. And then they were like, yeah, it's very slightly revised with a better kickstand and a better screen. I was like, cool, you fixed none of the issues I have with this console. And what DLSS does is it takes a lower resolution like output and then it smooths out the edges and upscales it. And when it's done right, you can't even tell the difference. There was this game that came out in 2019 called Control, and it was really hard to run on the PS4 and the Xbox One and the PC, but then they had DLSS on the PC, and you could run it like at 4K, and it wasn't actually running the game at 4K, it was just like upscaling it the right way. So honestly, it's doing what the PS4 is doing with its checkerboard resolution and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you notice, like, I know you've said before that there aren't a lot of games available for 4K play, like actual 4K games. Does it still seem worth it, like with other gameplay, would you say?
So you can get full 4K in like indie games. I think Hades is probably a game that would support it, like smaller stuff like that, and it looks incredible. But then when you move over to stuff like Returnal or Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, it's not necessarily always a true 4K. It's like a target. So yeah, like you mentioned, you get checkerboarding, which is like upscaling, and it looks really good on a 4K TV, but I'm gonna tell you right now, when I put a game in and it has the option between performance mode and quality mode, I always go for performance because I want 60 frames per second if I can get it. Having that locked is just like the smoothest way to play a game. And I'm pretty sure there aren't very many games on the Switch that do it. There's this random game called The Tourist that has 60 frames per second. There's a few other ones.
The Tourist is also coming to the PlayStation soon, right?
The Tourist is awesome. It's like a 3 or 4 hour game that is just basically like, here's how to make games run right on the Switch, and no one listened. But yeah, like DLSS is cool. I feel like the Nintendo Switch 2 absolutely needs it if they're going to keep porting games like Doom Eternal or Wolfenstein the New Colossus. Stuff like that was coming to the Switch and barely running. If they want to keep up with the current generation, they need DLSS.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's also why I personally don't know a lot of tech stuff, is because Nintendo hasn't really been keeping up with it themselves. I feel like PlayStation, in order to keep up with everything, like they actually have those advancements for them.
So the chip that was in the Switch when it launched in 2017 was actually a model older than the one that was currently available in 2017. And everyone thought when they came out with that red box Switch that they were going to be using that newer chip, but then they were like, no, we're just going to give it better battery life.
That's something also that's really exciting, is the new possibility for wireless charging. I talked about it in another video, but I think it's just going to really enhance your experience overall with the Switch, especially if you're like me and got a Switch like when they first came out. All right, thank you so much, Jimmy, for explaining this techie stuff. Like, I appreciate it so much. And if you guys love PlayStation, you love tech, Jimmy is a genius at all of this. You should check out his channel, PS Ready, if you haven't already. It's awesome.